All right. Welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Yeah. I know yesterday there was no video yesterday. I didn't even do a teaching or I didn't do any map updates. But it is what it is. Yesterday's gone. Today is the new day. And today we're calling it at least I'm calling it on my personal page a day without sin. Okay, basically meaning try not to sin. Try harder today and not to sin. If when you look like you're about to sin, just say I rebuke it or just speak positive into it. Try today not to sin. A day without sin. Okay, has nothing to do with being all this religious stuff you guys be posting and commenting on my pages and stuff. I'm not into all that stuff, all that Bible reading stuff, all the Bible scriptures. Every time I say something, I'm not into all that. As you guys notice, I don't respond to a lot of that stuff. Okay, a day without sin is just be more kind today. Be, you know what I mean? Like, if instead of going off on somebody, just speak life into them. That's all it is. It's not that you're perfect. It's not that you won't sin. It has nothing to do with that. Okay? It's not that you have never sinned ever in your life. It's a day without sin. That's all it is. Doesn't mean you're not going to sin. Most of us have already sinned today. It's a just a I'm just saying it to tell you to try. Just try to, instead of being angry and upset at people, just bless them, because it's gonna bless you, right? When you bless people, and like every day on my updates, I say, be favored and blessed this Monday or this Tuesday, whatever. And what is that doing? It's putting blessings into people. It's putting favor into people. And then in return, you get back favor and blessings. Okay? So it's putting that seed into them. When they read it, they it's a seed that's going into them. Be blessed, be favored. Okay? So that's all it is. A day without sin. Okay? Nothing has nothing to do with religious stuff and all this other stupid stuff. Some of you people just be so religious, they just be bringing it all up. But anyways, so I hope you guys are doing well. As you guys can see here, it says retaking Mosul on the front lines with Iraqi forces in ISIS fight. Okay, so as you see here, it says military control and then ISIS control. Just as little areas left. Okay, as we'll see on the map. But we did hear about the 2,000 2,000 U.S. forces that supposedly came into Anbar secretly. They're saying that that's not true. Also, they're saying reports that, look, America is not in this fight. America is not in the fight in the fight against ISIS in Western Mosul. But we know that's a lie. We know that the American forces are actually dressed as the Iraqi forces. Okay, they instead of being American forces, they've dressed as Iraqi forces. They dressed as the Peshmerga forces as well. We know that British force. I mean, you can even look at the pictures. You'll see British force. You'll see British looking people in Iraqi uniform. Okay, it's like, when did you get blonde hair? But this is how they have to get the victory for it. The Iraqi forces have to get the victory. Okay, so it is what it is. We know we have a ton of troops out there. We know we went first with the British forces. We did all the work before the media even came into it, pictures. We were doing all the hard work in Mosul and all the other provinces, and then the Iraqi forces and Peshmergas then come in. Okay, so not saying that they don't do any work, because they do. As you guys see in the videos, the editing is brutal. Editing is no joke. And those that were in combat know editing is not a joke. And I was, when we did editing training and clearing and mopping and stuff, it was not fun. Okay, so it is what it is. Let's go here. And then I guess we'll go to the map last, I guess. Okay. So Red Star brought this to us. Pretty good news here about Fitch, which is a credit agency, of course. One of the big ones. There's S&P, no, not S&P, S&P 500. That's that Wall Street. There's what's the one? S and something. I don't even know anymore. S and Poor or something like that. Standard and Poor, yeah. There you go. S&P, yeah. Standard and Poor. There's Fitch and there's Moody's. Those are the top. Those are the big three credit rating agencies, I guess. So yeah. Let's see here. So it says Fitch revises outlook of Iraq to stable, affirms at B minus. Okay, so they keep them at B minus, but they go from stable. They go from negative to stable. So it was a negative. It was negative and at B minus. Now it's stable at B minus. Pretty good. Okay, so we're hoping that by the end of the year they're going, or by the summertime they revise this again, or maybe they'll do it this time next year. Looks like they're only going to do it once a year. Looks like so this time next year Iraq's going to be positive A minus. That's what it look. You know what I mean? So they'll be back on track. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And then of course you can read what it says here. They revised it to stable B minus. The improved relative of the 2015 and 1H16 because of higher than expected oil prices and reduced government spending. The 2017 we forecast that deficit will narrow further. Well, actually, if they raise the value and they do what the things that they're supposed to do, there won't be a deficit. It will be an actual surplus. So, yeah, they talk about all the things that they whatever. Banking sector is under development and fundamentally weak. That's changed. The banking sector is really good now. And the U.S. Treasury praised them, but when they were doing this report, probably they didn't hear from the U.S. Treasury yet. Okay, so the U.S. Treasury has praised Iraq's banking sector, and also they praised the CBI for the currency auctions as they stopped sending money to terrorism. I don't know why nobody's locked up, but whatever, whatever the case may be. They've been praised, to put in the new system, the new e-dinar system that's electronic, so they don't. There's no stealing of money or money laundering or funding terrorism. Okay. So yeah. So good. So this is positive. Now I think what's the other one we're waiting on? I think Moody's. I think Moody's already came out and said they're staying the same as well, and with like stable B plus or something like that. I think S&P. I'm not sure if we heard from S&P yet. Standard and Poor. I'm not sure if we've heard from them yet. If we haven't, we'll probably hear from them hopefully by the end of this month. Okay, so let's move on to the last thing we want to look at, and that was from Red Star. So shout out to Red Star for that. Okay, so let's look at the map. Yesterday we did not look at the map because the map was worse than the day before. I can't even imagine that. I sent Nineveh Command Center a tweet or message, whatever you want to call these things lately, and I just shook my head and said, how can you put out a map that looks worse than it did yesterday and say this is an update? I just said ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Don't even waste our time. Don't waste our time. Okay, so this map looks 10 times better than it did yesterday. Okay, because yesterday we were down here and orange was down here. Okay, down here was orange, and look at this. This has stayed the same for 5 days or 4 days. This hasn't even moved. So you know what I'm saying? Like we're doing things in old Mosul City right now, but you don't see anything in there. Okay, we're blowing up stuff. We're getting back hotels and stuff. You can't see none of that in here. So I don't know what's up with that. It's only right down here. So maybe this is where we're at, and I'm jumping the gun. But we're up here though. We're right here. We're at the bridge right here. Look, we're right here. And then here's the line to the bridge. Leads right to the bridge. So I don't know. I guess I gotta calm down. It's a day without sin, and I'm going off. Oh man. Okay, so today they announced that 80% of Mosul is liberated. Okay, so if you see, and some people say, wait a minute, the West is not 80%. Well, they're not. We didn't say the West was 80%. We said 80% of Mosul is liberated. which is a full liberation, if you ask me. You know what I mean? And that tells us that a body could change. They could actually change the rate on the 15th. They want to. You know what I mean? Because Mosul is liberated. 80% is a liberation. Okay, so the fact that they came out today and said it, that Mosul's 80%, and this is why Abadi's talking about victory. You know, it's because Abadi's not looking at Western Mosul. We are. Okay, Abadi's looking at all of Mosul. All of Mosul is 80% liberated. That is a liberation. Okay, that but of course, Abadi wants the whole thing liberated as well, and so does Donald Trump. But I don't know if that's I don't know if we need that to see a rate change here. We can see a rate change. It's liberated. Okay, now we got to finish up the rest of the editing here on this side, and we still have, look, when we get to this line right here, which should be hopefully tomorrow, we can get all of this. If we get all of this tomorrow, then we're at 60%, and then we come up here and get this is 70%, and then if we get this area right here in this V shape, that's 80%, right? So we get to this V shape is 80%, okay, on this side, which will basically mean Musa will be at 90%, and then this will be left. Okay, so let's see if we can get there. I know this. If we continue upwards there, this is gonna touch there by Wednesday. You know, this orange should be able to touch here by Wednesday. The way it's moving, you know what I mean? But are we gonna be able to get this whole thing on this side and this side all done by Friday? It's already Monday. I don't know. And if we don't, we're going back. We're gonna push it back to the 31st, which is fine. It's still in March, And actually, we're not gonna push it back 31st. Excuse me. We're pushing it back to the 29th because that's the last day of this Arab summit, and that could be the day Abadi waits for the last day to make the announcement. Okay, so which is what 16 days away, okay, from today. So today's operations are coming to an end already, and then of course we do sneak at nighttime at midnight. So the troops are probably getting some sleep right now because at midnight, and between midnight to 2 a.m. they do their sneak attacks as well, and they're probably going to do a sneak attack here as well. Okay, so the 20, if we don't get to this V shape and it's all green by this V shape on Friday, I will move it back to the 29th. Okay, because that is the last day of the Arab Summit. Abadi is expected to make full victory announcement at the Arab Summit if he even shows up. Okay, now they're still saying that next week he's gonna meet Donald Trump. So we're suggesting the 19th, 20th. But the problem with the 19th and 20th is that it's a weekend. Donald Trump is a man that likes to go play golf, likes to go out and go visit other countries and chill and vacation and with his families on the weekend. So I know he's a president, but still, I don't know if he's gonna meet somebody on a Sunday, right? So, maybe a body get there on Thursday or Friday, and meets him and then comes back home. We'll see. And also, we're also gonna be watching the debt ceiling closely here. I know the U.S. Treasury wants the debt ceiling to increase, and then we're also going to be watching the Feds for the announcement. I think tomorrow starts the meetings for the Fed rate hike, and so tomorrow Fed rate hike. Also, I think the 15th will be the decision if they're going to raise interest rates. Watch the Bitcoin. Bitcoin should explode tomorrow into tonight, into Wednesday as the chaos begins. According to the Webbot report, chaos begins on the 15th as the Feds will likely raise interest rates, and the U.S. Treasury might increase the debt ceiling, which will bring the chaos. Abadi probably coming on the 16th, 17th, 18th, or 19th, and then goes back home for full liberation. And then all types of other things are happening. Iran's New Year's is on the 21st. Iran's working with the IMF for single rate things like that, and we know we can't talk about Iran. So so we just had to be brief about that, because I can't really talk about Iran. So, anyways, but you got that's stuff that you guys already know. There's nothing, and that's what the IMF. We already know that from the IMF. Okay, so other than that, is gonna be chaos going on. So I'm looking for Bitcoin to explode. I'm looking for us to storm this area right here, Old City Mosul, and I don't know why this line continues to be at this part, but let's see if we can take care of all this and get to this V shape by Friday. I